Welcome to Warrior Wisdom Wednesday on Coffee with Alain. Hope everybody's day is going well. I'm here to share the philosophy of Han, taking that from this Hapkido pocket guide by Dr. Young Kimm. If you're watching the video, you can see a photo of Dr. Kimm and I. That's a really old photo of us. I have others that are more recent, but I decided to show that older photo of us. I think the first time I met Dr. Kimm was 25 years ago or so, or 23 years ago, something like that. Quite a while back. The most recent time I've seen him was last year, 2025. I didn't get to see him this year because of the knee surgery and so forth. But just a wealth of information when it comes to Korean martial arts. I have a number of his books, fantastic references. And I'm drinking out of this mug here, Korean Martial Art Festival mug. Dr. Kimm is on that mug. I'm on that mug in the picture, so that's sort of cool. And I have one of his books. Most of his books are these giant, huge things back there on the shelf. I mean, they're 3 or 4 or 5 pounds each. But this happens to be just a little Hapkido pocket guide. And this one's signed, just like all my big ones are signed by him. And a lot of it is, Hapkido techniques and stuff. But in the beginning, there's this little segment on the philosophy of Han. Now, Dr. Kimm is a Hapkido instructor, and he's practiced judo and Hapkido and other arts as well. And he formed his own Hanmudo. But this philosophy of Han, I thought was worth sharing, not just for martial artists, but for everybody. So when we look at the Han philosophy is purely of Korean origin. It was nurtured and matured by the Korean people before relations with neighboring nations were established. The Han philosophy is based on 4 distinct characteristics. First, Han means head or high position. The Korean people look for leadership and guidance from the holders of high position. They are the king head of state, the father head of the family, and the teacher head of the classroom. They are regarded as the most important persons in the nation. Second, Han means big or whole. Each person is considered a vital member of the community as a whole. Harmony within the community as a whole is very important in the pursuit of happiness for the individual as well as for the country. Third, Han means brightness or optimism. Brightness in the Korean language implies peace, cleanness, and honesty in life. They see the future as optimistic, regardless of the hardships they have faced in the past. Finally, Han means higher learning. The Korean people place great value on education and culture. They strive for excellence in learning, whether it be in literature or martial arts. These 4 distinct characteristics of Han philosophy permeated into every facet of Korean society. It has been embedded in Korean culture, religion, economics, politics, and especially in the martial arts. It still plays a significant role in what constitutes the Korean identity. Around the 1st century BC, Korea began to actively seek out contact with neighboring countries. The introduction of alien cultures followed as Korea sought to broaden its knowledge about its neighbors. The Han philosophy evolved as harmonious aspects of the newly introduced ideas were assimilated into it. So that's just a little bit about the Han philosophy as taught by Dr. Kimm in Hanmudo, important both for Koreans and for Korean martial artists. So I thought it would just be sort of cool to share that today for Warrior Wisdom. Warrior Wisdom is not always that of killing and fighting and violence. there's the other aspects of it as well, because we want to have that balance. I'm going to say good morning to a few people. Good morning, Thad. Thank you for being here and saying good morning. Good morning, Dixon. Dixon said, I've known Dr. Kimm since the 90s, and I'm on that mug too. Yep, Dixon's on that mug as well, being one of the instructors at the Korean Martial Art Festival. Yeah, I think the first time I met Dr. Kimm was in Mississippi, and it would have been real early 2000s. So I didn't know him in the 90s. You've known him a bit longer. That's cool. And Jay said good morning from Jay, Vicky, and Sasha. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys watching and saying good morning. I appreciate all of you. You know, and I just think it's important that we understand, you know, the philosophy that goes with martial arts often is not just the tenets of combat, which are important. We all study the art of war. We study Musashi. We study the different aspects and strategies of combat. But we also want to know things like the Han philosophy, about the importance of the leader, about each person being part of the whole. I think that's accepted and more in the Asian cultures than it is in the United States, where individuals are recognized to stand out and not so much the whole at times, where in Asia, the whole seems to be more important than the individual. You know, the old Japanese saying, the nail that sticks up gets beat down. But I think, you know, that is important, that we all are part of the whole. And I really like the optimism and the brightness aspect and the emphasis on learning and how education and culture are so important. And you definitely see that in Korea when I live there, when I visit there, the importance of education, just extremely important. And so I think those 4 characteristics of Han are important for everybody, whether you're a martial artist or not. But those of us that study martial arts, we should incorporate these kind of things into our training and study to equal out the martial aspects of combat, fighting, and so forth, to create a whole person. And that's why I always say a martial artist is more than a fighter. And that if all you learn are fighting techniques, how to punch, how to kick, how to throw, how to grapple, how to joint lock, if that's all you study and know, you're a fighter. When you study everything, you become more of a whole martial artist. And I think that's pretty important. You know, one of my instructors, I've told this before, Dennis Dallas, years ago when I started to teach, said, Alain, if you only teach the physical aspects and you don't teach the philosophy and what a person can become as a martial artist, you're missing out on a big part of what martial arts can give to people and help them with their lives. And I truly believe that. And that's why I spend a lot of time discussing and posting about the other aspects of martial arts as well. Even though my DVDs and now my online courses show the physical techniques to defend yourself, the physical joint locking techniques, which I'm turning all those old joint lock DVDs into a joint locking online course. The self-defense one's already there. The joint lock one is on the way, but I just feel both are important. And hopefully that gave you something to think about, whether you're a martial artist or not, to incorporate some of that into your life. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for commenting. Thank you if you're watching a replay or listening to the audio podcast. Appreciate all of you. Go to enjoylifesafely.com for more. I'm posting blog posts there. All the Coffee with Alain episodes are there. The courses are there. Free downloads are there. More will be coming. So take care, everybody. Make it a wisdom-filled Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.